everyone? Welcome back to At the Table, the show that asks you to pull out your chairs, get out your books, and join us at the table. You have joined us for a creation and a build with you, the fans, and the chat, and the legends. We absolutely love you. But before we get into that awesome stuff, please, Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, as always, I'm Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the interwebs on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. And how about you?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Let's have some fun. And when I'm out here with my man, Mr. Michael Powell, on Tuesdays, you can find me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Homebrew Pathfinder 2nd Edition game, Edge of Legend. Now, without further ado, let's get our minds thinking and let's get these books cracking and let's make an organization. See you then.
Let's get to it.
An organization in a while. And with all that awesome talk about romantic role play, religious role play, love, and gods, why don't we build maybe a small offshoot of a holy organization. Now, if you know my world of Edge of Legend, there is a group called the Order of the Platinum Hammer. And eventually, at some point, probably in Season 2, we're going to stop hearing about it. We might start seeing it. But until then, let's think of like a small religious organization. Could be, like a bunch of clerics, a bunch of paladins, monks, barbarians, a group of any people with one common goal. And maybe what that goal is.
In chat, Reap Psyche posted a fantasy dating agency.
I kind of like that. It's bad, but I like it. Wolfsong said, "Are we building a cult? Do you want to build an evil cult?" We don't really have a ton of evil cults that just kind of loosely exist. I think the last time we heard holidays. What?
I just read what Reap Psyche posted. A whole bunch of yentas.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do love the idea of like a bunch of corporate yentas. Sathagus said, "What about a good cult? What about a good cult? Maybe we could work with a good cult." I know during the holidays when I was busy working my holiday job for long hours, you and Ian built a chaotic neutral or like a neutral cult that was based upon like causing chaos for the sake. What was that?
That wasn't really a cult. That was more of a group of scientists.
Yes, that's what it was.
A bunch of Doc Browns, a bunch of those scientists. The trope of scientists who don't really have their shit together.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah, there was chaos. It was like, what was it, enlightenment through chaos or progression through conflict.
Yeah. A good cult example I kind of want to say would be, if you're familiar with the television series Umbrella Academy, second season, one of the characters essentially built a cult around themselves.
Oh gosh. It starts with an F, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Franz? And he had
Fritz,
the hello goodbye or Fritz, something?
Or something like that. But his power basically, he could communicate with the dead, and he was able to. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything. No, what you're saying?
Oh, I was gonna say basically, he created one of those during the '60s. There was a big influx of people using Ouija boards to try to communicate with, the dead. So essentially like that.
Mm-hmm.
With the character central.
Yeah, I like the challenge of creating a good
Klaus.
Klaus, not an F. It was a K. Thank you, chat, and thank you, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Klaus, best boy. Yes, indeed. So I like the challenge of a good cult, and I like that because the question then becomes like, why are they a cult? Why aren't they an official religion? Are they doing something different but still good? And if so, what is the thing they represent, and what is the good thing they're doing?
I have an idea.
What's that?
Basically, built on the show we just had when we had that conversation about undeads and stuff and all that stuff. What if it's a cult that's kind of like they're trying to put the dead to rest, like going after evil like spellcasters who specialize in necromancy and bring the dead back from, bring back the dead against their will.
But they're good guys.
Yeah, but no, they're putting those dead back to rest and going after the evil, necromancers.
Ooh, okay. So like the necromancers that stop necromancers.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right. Chat, what do you think? Avenging Penguin says a dice cult. Haha. There is a god of fortune, luck, and fate. He's kind of a chaotic entity. He has four different avatars. One is Dumb Luck, Felix Chance. He was on Raw's rave party over the weekend. He does own a temple that's also the world's biggest casino. Maybe Felix Chance has a cult of gamblers that, I don't know, try to take people's money and give the less fortunate.
Wolf Song also suggests perhaps they worship a being not a god, but a being who hasn't reached that level. So basically, a character who has not reached divinity.
They're a celestial or a solar. So the idea is that they are a divine being, but they're not a god. They're not at that hierarchy yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mention that. We haven't gotten into it in the show, but I have been preparing something called the patrons. And the patrons are basically like entities of celestial power that are not the gods, the Astrogenicon, but still have a place within the seven glories. And they're equal but not limited to the archangels, if you will. So say you are a muse or you're a bard or whatever, a bard, not a muse, sorry, and you need to pull from something. You could say like, my inspiration, my whatever is this patron, right? And this isn't just limited to them. It could be fiends and devils that are lesser devils and lesser fiends, fallen patrons, or the undead patrons. So in theory, we could take that a good cult. They worship a good aligned patron of the seven glories, and maybe that's why they're a cult, because the religious institutions like. I mean, that's kind of heresy, but you're not doing anything bad with it. I don't know.
Kind of like, I guess you could say, while the church doesn't really recognize exorcists, they know that they're around.
Maybe. I feel like at that point we might be going into a bit too much of the like the way of the empty void or the way of the empty stomach or whatever, the way of the people who basically eat that malicious necromantic energy and then purge or redistribute it.
Oh, I was just making more of a point of basically the overall church knowing that there's an offshoot, but they're like, they don't talk
Okay.
about them, but they know they're around, but they don't like them or talk about them too much.
Hmm. Well, let's see what we have in
Like the
chat.
weird
So,
cousin you have at reunions, they're there. You don't
yeah.
want to make eye contact.
Well, let's see what we got in chat, because we might be able to do a marriage. It won't sound or feel exactly what you're sounding or feeling like, but I think we can make something. So, a dice cult, they worship a being that's not quite a god yet. They are good, potentially a celestial or solar, a secret society. What if we combine all those? Hear me out. We have a good aligned celestial of Kioma, the god of fortune and luck and chaos to a degree. And it is a cult in the honor of this celestial, not their avatars, who have a dice cult that basically worship their patron through dice. And maybe they're really, really good at gambling. Not to the level that Felix Chance is, because his powers are literally dumb luck. But
Ooh.
they basically have like gambling for charity, and maybe they have like high stakes poker games and high stake craps games, and it borders on the dangerous, but
Hey,
it's all for a good purpose.
PJ, do you mind if I add something slightly sinister to that? Because I just got inspiration from a old X Files episode. The X Files episode I'm
Maybe it
talking
may
about.
start to lose.
Hmm?
Yeah, continue.
I was gonna say the
No,
X Files
continue, please.
episode was basically there's it takes place in a Chinatown, and apparently there are people who would gamble. Basically, they put all their names, numbers in a big giant jar, shake it up. Whoever gets the name out wins, but they also have to
Mm-hmm.
like sacrifice an organ, and what depending on what organ is, that's another roll of the dice.
Mm. I think I kind of remember that episode.
Yeah.
So we have to, because the goal from chat was make a good aligned cult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to make sure that the organ harvesting cult is a good cult. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's going to people in need, or it's
Yeah.
going to healers tents and holy organizations that need it for ritual components
Mm-hmm.
or something.
I like the idea of it basically going to someone who needs it.
Yeah. Avenging Penguin did ask, like a secret society. Yeah, I think a secret society, yeah, may be the best way to pull off a good cult that has these things. Also, I wanted to say thank you to Avenging Penguin and Stathagus for liking Ra's Rave Party. That was a passion project out of love. It was a lot of stress on me to do research on 60 gods and how to put them at a house party in the Hollywood Hills. So I'm really glad you guys like it, and I hope that I'm excited to all the other things we're going to be doing for you guys, like Night Witches. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend. I think
You need a calendar, PJ, like a
I have a
physical calendar.
I have a physical calendar. It's called my phone. Just my brain doesn't have one inside of it. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not this coming weekend. It's next weekend, but it's coming. So let's see here. Let's
Ooh,
see.
Reap Psyche posted, or it's like the bodies exhibit people. Sketchy, but
Ostensibly
obscenity
for
for
research.
yeah.
I like that. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do it so that we're not getting too convoluted on ideas. Let's start off. Chat, yay or nay this, please. Um, a dice cult of gamblers that are trying to do high stake poker games with the patron of Kioma, not the avatar, not the god, but a patron, an angel, if you will, or some celestial being of Kioma, as their guide. And their high stakes poker games are to take money or organs, depending on how stakes are, from people who consent to these stakes. We can't surprise them because that's not cool. That's not good. And then they take that money, those organs, whatever, and they give it back to holy organizations, people in need, etc.
Does
How
it
does that
have
sound for like a cult?
does it have to be a poker game?
No, but I said high stakes poker and dice because
Oh,
again, it's
okay.
a dice cult. So that's just an example of they're not limited in how they can play a
Mm-hmm.
game. But I think their secret society symbol could be Snake Eyes dice.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, visually, it would be kind of cool to see it as a giant, like spin the chance wheel.
Also, oh yeah, roulette. Also could be like
Yeah.
roulette, but I think the idea is that it is a secret society of high stakes gambling that will take things from people, but for good causes. And this is why it's kind of like a cult. They worship this celestial of chance, of Kyoma, and they play these games. And it's good because it's going for a good end, but it's chaotic because it's gambling and it's mutilation.
We have Reap
So
Psyche
cult
posted.
around Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Oh no.
The duel.
I think we got it, you guys. I think we got our cult, our religious
All the priest
organization, a
has those.
good
All the
cult.
priests have anime hair.
Yeah. Now here's the question, because there's a bit of a builder on how to do this. Do we want them to be local, global, regional? We're going to make them small because there's no way something this crazy can stay secret society with a huge amount of people. So it's going to be a small society. Do you want them like, let's see,
I'm
perhaps
voting for small.
small, like a regional,
Yeah,
a local,
like a local.
local. All right. So it'll be local to one specific area. I like that. That's interesting. And as a GM, IRGM, I can place that. Small.
Wolfson posted. Perhaps their thought is sometimes fate is too cruel, and they mess with fate to change the scales.
Yeah, yeah, I can absolutely see that. Whew, I'm having a
Uh,
terrible
oh,
caffeine
and
crash right now.
Reap Psyche posted early Yu-Gi-Oh had Yugi sending people to the Shadow Realm through any game he could get into. The card game wasn't a thing until the parts that the anime was about. Oh yeah, I've read the early mangas of Yu-Gi-Oh, and oh man, shit gets dark.
It does. It gets heckin' dark. Let's see. One big city. Okay, one big city of my choice.
Yeah, like it's like a underground like gambling game that I kind of envision. It moves from place to place, and it has a special password. So you have to go down this like underground to these basement. A little one of those doors with a little window that opens up. You have to say I don't know Rosebud or something as a special password to get in.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. A small local one big city. Maybe it's a changing city. It's got a special password to get in. Chaotic good organization, religious organization. So this is basically like similar to Felix Chance's Casino. This is going to be an offshoot. I feel like that worships the patron angel or the patron celestial of Kioma. So it's a celestial that is in the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dice, cards, roulette, all that kind of stuff. High stakes games designed for potential mutilation or taking one's money, but giving it to people
Ooh,
who need it.
PJ,
That being said,
sorry.
that being said, I think we have it. I think we have it, a whole thing built out. We just need a name.
I just really quickly I want to add. Would it be kind of cool to just also put the head priest and the people who run it are considered doctors and nurses?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think at that point we stop it being about fate and luck and games, and it becomes more about just medical
Okay.
stuff. Um, but I think those people could definitely be there because how the hell are they going to take a like an appendix out of a dude or whatever?
Does an appendix actually do anything special in Edge of Legend? Is that where magic comes from in Edge of Legend?
Yeah, all wizards are just people that really studied their own appendix. Whew. Okay, so I'm getting a little lightheaded, so I'm going to call it here. We just need a name. Reap Psyche says the Hands of Fate. How about the casts of fate? Like you're casting a die, but you're also casting. I don't know. I like Hands of Fate. I like that. Simple and effective. Um, what do we think? Any other names? Doesn't have to be Hands of Fate.
See, a good
Just
spell book
good
all
spell
have
books.
an appendix. Just saying.
Yep, yep. Fate's Push. Ooh, Fate's Push. I like that because that's a gambling term and it could be an actual physical, like, we're forcing fate, but also we're pushing on blackjack. I like
See,
that. Let's go. Let's do Fate's Push for now. We can change that name later. I might change it before show. But the good thing is, everything that we make at the table either comes up in a vote or is created and put into the Edge of Legend universe. So I think I'm going to make a GM's call and say Fate's Push as the starting term for this will be the Nudgeman. Thank you, Psyche. Sothogus also says, also casts because of broken limbs. Um, so thank you all for joining us for this creative character or this creation. We have this awesome small local to one big city chaotic good religious organization, potentially Fate's Push might be changed later, that is designed to with the instruction of their patron of the celestial of Kioma as opposed to his avatars, have high stake underground secret society poker games where they can win big but also with their consent lose a lot of money or organs going for a greater good. So it's a cult, it's good, but it's, pardon the pun, a little dicey. So thank you so much. This should be appearing somewhere in Edge of Legend. We love you, we adore you, and we'll see you here. Let's say our goodbyes really fast. Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
well, as always, I'm Michael Powell. You can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. Or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ Michael Powell does stuff because I do a lot of stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure, or also on, I believe, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Toyzilla Network. I'm one of the hosts of Toyzilla Live, where we talk about toy news and nostalgia stuff. So yeah, what about you, PJ?
Thank you for asking. Well, you know me. My name is PJ McGaw. I'm all over the internet at PJ.McGaw, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. When I'm not here with my man, Mr. Michael Powell, on Tuesdays, you can find me here Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Edge of Legend as we go into episode 32, technically of the 37 episodes we've made so far, not counting Halloween and our charity stuff. Episode 32 of the Green Army. Surviving the interrogation and the war for the Agrippa upon Aubert, they now have to celebrate with an amazing party. And there's details that could lead them to fighting another general or stopping the super weapon from destroying Adolphon Prime. Adolphon Prime. Man, I don't know what's happening with this coffee, but I'm having a horrible crash. Also, this Thursday, February 25th at 7 p.m., I will be guest starring on Life Action Roleplay's live game, Alice is Missing. It is the first all-silent role-playing game where we will be creating our characters there in trying or attempting to save Alice, a missing girl in our neighborhood, done entirely through text. So come and check it out, listen to cool vibe music, and see what happens if we can save Alice or not. And then, of course, March 6th, International Women's Day, we're going to be doing the Night Witches of New Jack City for Planned Parenthood charity. So more details as we get closer to March. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you here, same Nat time, same Nat channel, at the table. Be safe, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.